Hello, everybody. It's Kanisha, the Beauty CPA. I am coming to y'all tonight for a brief discussion on budgeting and the 4 myths you may be falling for. Um, I'm going to go over a couple of housekeeping items, okay? And then we're just going to go ahead and get started. Um, how are you all doing tonight? Go ahead as you guys come in, go ahead and drop in the comments how you guys are doing. I'm just going to post today's topic and we'll be ready to go. Okay, it's going through all types of filters. I don't want it to do that. Okay. 4 budgeting myths you may be falling for. Okay. All right. So, how is everyone doing? I hope you are well. Just a reminder, guys, have you RSVP'd for Tuesday's Black Friday Masterclass? It's going to be on Tuesday, November 24th at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be a masterclass on the 5 financial habits of successful beauty bosses. Now, I don't know if you guys have been noticing or kind of catching the trend, is that I've been really honing in on the things that you should be doing in your beauty business that will make you and keep you successful, not only in your business, but this bleeds over into your personal life too, because financial management is just a life skill, but it is truly imperative when you're running a beauty business, because the accounting, the bookkeeping, the numbers, cash flow, that's the lifeline of business, right? And so on Tuesday during the masterclass, class, we're going to be talking about the top five financial habits of successful beauty bosses. So it'll be going over, some really practical things that you should be adopting in your own beauty business that's going to make you successful, especially when it comes to managing and taking control of your finances. Hello, lo and behold, beauty. Glad to have you here. Again, I was reminding y'all to go ahead and RSVP for Tuesday's Black Friday Masterclass. 5 financial habits of successful beauty bosses. The link to RSVP is the first link in my bio Instagram. And then on Facebook, I'll put the link in the description to this video, but it's also going to be the pinned post on the Facebook business page or the group. So you have the links, guys. Go ahead and RSVP. It's going to be a party. I don't really care for the boring masterclass. I don't. If I'm going to spend some time with you, I want it to be, informative and useful for your business, but at the same time, we're going to have fun. It's going to be a party. I'm going to be giving away prizes throughout the masterclass. You're going to get a virtual swag bag for attending, and that's going to be filled with tools and resources that you can use in your beauty business to make managing the finances as easy as possible. And you're going to get an exclusive Black Friday discount on an amazing offer that I've really been working on for a while for you guys. So please RSVP for that class and plan to show up live. I promise you, it's not going to be boring. You may win some prizes, and regardless if you win or not, everybody's gonna be a winner, because you're gonna leave knowing something more than when you came. And if that's the case, it was time well spent. So again, just remember to go ahead and RSVP. Do not wait till the last minute. Okay, guys? So let's get into tonight's topic. We're talking about budgeting. 4 myths you may be falling for when it comes to budgeting. Now, there are many. There are many myths and misconceptions. These are just the top 4 I hear all of the time from beautypreneurs. all of the time. So I wanted to come and talk to you. I wanted to talk about them. I wanted to discuss them with y'all, see how y'all really feeling out there. And I want to give you kind of some practical ways to mitigate these, right? Some practical ways to say, okay, if this is how you're thinking, this is how practically we're going to get around those. So we can go ahead and just start budgeting effectively for our beauty businesses. Okay. So let's get into it. Myth number one, I don't have time to budget. Have you ever said that before? Have you ever said, I'm just too busy. I ain't got time to be sitting down, looking at numbers, crunching. It's just going to take way too long. I have better things to do with my time. Have you ever said that? No shade, no judgment. If you said that, drop that in a comment. I want to know, have you ever felt that before? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm an accountant, and sometimes when it comes to like numbers and even other things in life that I know I need to be doing, I know I should be doing, I know it's not like, optional, I still will say, well, I have time, right? One example for me is like exercise. I'll always say that. Oh, I don't exercise because I don't have time, right? One way to get around the I do not have time myth or misconception, my thoughts on that is, if you don't feel like you have time, that means that when you budget, it's taking you way too long. Because I don't know how long y'all think budgeting take, but it does not take forever, and it should not take hours. It should literally only take like an hour at the most to budget, right? And what does that entail? You have to, before you have your schedule, your budgeting session, right? So the day and time that you're going to sit in order to do your budget for the year, you should come to that meeting, that appointment, prepared already. Now, if you're not coming prepared, that's probably why it's taking you too long. That's probably why it's taking you more than an hour. So what do I mean by coming prepared? Come to your budgeting session already with some historical financial statements. So if you're doing bookkeeping in your business, which everyone should be, no matter how small, how new, or how much money you make, you should be doing bookkeeping. So if you're coming to your planned budgeting time, you need to come with historical financial statements. So the last your last bookkeeping session, come to your budgeting meeting with that information. That's going to make that time go a whole lot easier, because now you can plan your budget based off of where you've already been, right? Numbers you've already recorded. You can look at what you've already done and where you've already been, and that's going to be your starting point. And then you can layer on any anticipated revenue or anticipated expenses. That makes it so much quicker and so much easier when you're coming prepared with financial statements already. Now, if you're spanking brand new and maybe you don't have any financial statements, that's not a problem either. You just come to your budgeting session with research that you've done prior. Do not consider you budgeting to include the time you researched costs and the time you actually plan it out for the year. Because then, yes, they may take you a little time. Break those sessions up so that you're not sitting there for hours. Hey, Babe Theory, glad to have you. We're talking about 4 myths that you may be filing for when it comes to budgeting, right? So like I said, come already with research done or historical financial statements. That's going to make your budgeting process way faster. After you have that, everything else is a breeze. I have a 4-step simple budgeting process. Number 1, what's your revenue goal? Your starting point is what you've already made in the past, or if your brand's spanking new, hey, what do you want to make? There is no right or wrong answer. It's all up to you. Step number 2, plan your direct costs, right? So how much will it cost for you to deliver the service to your client? For those of you who've been in business, you already have that information. That's in your bookkeeping. That's your cost of services or cost of goods sold. If you're brand spanking new, you just do the research. After you figure your indirect costs, your direct costs, now you're going to put your indirect costs. This is all your overhead, right? All your overhead. Again, based off historical information or research that you've done if you're new. And then the fourth step is you determining your net profit, which is revenue minus all your expenses, and boom, that's your bottom line. If you don't like it, tweak all of the prior three numbers we just talked about. That process should not take you more than an hour because you're already coming prepared. So when we talk about, the misconception or the thought, I don't have enough time, is because one, you're not coming prepared to your budgeting session. And then two, you're overcomplicating the process. Budgeting does not take long. 1 hour max for the whole year. And you're done. Boom. And let's just be honest. We find time for stuff we want to do. We do. Because I be saying all day, like, I got time to exercise. I got time for all that. But let one of my girls come through like, hey, let's go do it. I was like, okay. All of a sudden, I just created time. So we really want to prioritize the budget, because the budget is like the financial roadmap. It's going to really make sure we stay on par throughout the year when it comes to our financial goals. Okay, let's get into myth number 2. Making a budget is hard, and I'm not a numbers person. Not a numbers person. Okay, let's talk about it. When people say making a budget is hard, like they think it involves some complicated math, and it doesn't. It's like second grade arithmetic. If you know 2 plus 2, you can do budgeting. Literally, figuring out your net profit is revenue, which is all the money you make, minus expenses, all the money you spend, and that's net profit. That's like X minus Y equals Z. 3 minus 2 equals 1. That's just basic arithmetic. So there's nothing hard about it. If it's hard, you are following an overly complicated budgeting process. Go back and look at some of my prior posts where I talk about the budgeting formula and the budgeting process. Is a real easy 4 steps that I just went through. Make it simple, guys. Make it simple. And that increases the chances that this is going to be a system that's sustainable in your business that you'll be willing to do year after year. You got to make it easy for yourself. It does not have to be some this complicated, overly thought out process. And then when people say I'm not a numbers person, you don't have to be a numbers person. You a money person. You like to make and spend money. And that's numbers. That's numerical. So I want when people say that I'm not a numbers person, it's like they don't like looking at numbers. You like the money in your checking account. You like the cash in your pocketbook. So we are all numbers people, because numbers is money. Those numbers represent money. You wouldn't be in business if you don't have money. So we're all numbers people, guys. So again, it has nothing to do with complicated math or being a math whiz. Keep it simple. And you like money. So you are a numbers person. Stop thinking you're not a numbers person. You are a numbers person. Myth number 3, budgeting is boring and tedious. Okay, fair. That's fair. Bookkeeping is not like, the first thing I think of when I wake up in the morning is, oh my God, I can't wait to go do bookkeeping, right? It can be tedious. It can be boring. But we can do those things. It's a means to an end. It's something like we have to do to get to our goals. Here's the thing. This is what I do. Let's say I have a bookkeeping session. I got to get through these numbers. Number 1, while I may not organically like sitting down crunching numbers, what I love is the story for when I'm done. When I am done bookkeeping, like reviewing the transactions, recording them, categorizing them, and finalizing and reconciling them. When I'm done doing all that, I'm like, all right, did we make money? Did we lose money? What worked? What didn't? What should we do more of? What should we do less of? Who owe us money? Who we got to pay money to? Why are we paying them this much? Do we want to pay them this much? Can we find it cheaper? Because if we find it cheaper, we could make more money. Like all of that stuff is exciting. So don't look at like the bookkeeping itself. Look at what you can do after it. Just think of the things you can do in your business to after you've done the book. Because you can't do any of those things I just said until after you do the books. If you're doing them without doing bookkeeping, you're making decisions in your business very haphazardly, meaning that you're making decisions based off nothing, based off maybe emotion, which is very dangerous to make business decisions based off emotion alone. Your decisions in your business should end or begin with numbers always, okay? So don't look at the bookkeeping per se. Look at what you can do in your business after you've done the bookkeeping. That's the exciting part. Now, we want to think about how we can make the crunching of the numbers feel better. Let's talk about some like woo-woo stuff I do, right? So, get your favorite drink. If you a tea person or a coffee person, go ahead, get you a nice little mug with some like inspirational saying, like boss babe, beauty boss, beautypreneur, glampreneur, you got this, to get you a nice mug, make you some tea, some coffee, some hot chocolate, maybe a hot drink, with a little something. No, I'm just kidding. Never do your books on alcohol. But get something you enjoy drinking, play some music, right? Play some music, light an incense, like candles. Do whatever you have to do in your environment that is comforting to you. I mean, if you got a bestie, if you got a friend or a cousin or a spouse that loves numbers or spreadsheets or whatever, bring them in. Let them do let them do it, and you just sit there and keep them company and stuff. After like 45 minutes to an hour done pass, you done with your bookkeeping for the whole week. So make it an event, make the environment enjoyable. Think about the end goal, the decisions you can make after you've done it. It's always fun to plan for the future, like dream about this empire you're building, and the way to get there is to do this budgeting and crunch these numbers. All right, myth number 4. My budget is all in my head. I got it all up here. I don't need to write it down on a spreadsheet. I don't need to record it. I don't need none of that. It's boom. Right there. That is a myth, and y'all know it. Y'all know it. Because number 1, a budget needs to be recorded and tracked. It needs to be tracked. Right? So after every week, every month, you should be taking the plan, this thing you say it's in your head, you should be taking that and comparing that to what actually happened, and then calculating the variances and making sure you understand why you have the variance. All of that is not happening in your head, and you know it. So let's just put that in a spreadsheet or in a system where you can track that. Y'all, I don't even remember what I ate for dinner 2 nights ago. Ain't no way. Ain't no way you budgeted in your head and tracking and performing financial analysis and understanding all the variances. There's no way. Even if you manage to do it for a week, you're not doing it for 2, 3, 4 weeks every month throughout the year. It's not happening. So we gotta put that in a spreadsheet, okay? We gotta put that in a spreadsheet or a financial system. So yes, just to recap, look at these myths. Number 1, I don't have time. That's because you're taking too long and you coming unprepared. Simplify and come prepared. Myth number 2, making a budget is hard and you're not a numbers person. You are a numbers person. If you like making money, you receive money, you make money, you spend money, you a numbers person, because numbers is money. And it's not hard. It is basic arithmetic. 1 + 1 = 2, which I know all of you can do. You're just using it as a crutch, not to do it or to push it off on someone else. Let me say this. Outsourcing your accounting or your bookkeeping is not a pass for you not to understand your numbers. So some people say, oh, I don't need this because, I hire somebody to do it. And then you ask them about their numbers, key financial KPIs, and they don't have a clue, which means that even if they are hiring someone to do it, they're not using the data as a tool to improve their business. Because if they did, they would know certain financial KPIs. Sorry about that. So outsourcing is not an excuse for you not to know and understand numbers. Now, you may hire them to do all the heavy lifting, like the number crunching, but you still have to understand the numbers, right? And what's going on in the business. So it's not hard, and you are a numbers person. Stop lying to me and to yourself. Okay. Myth number 3, budgeting is boring and tedious. I admit it, that's fair. I got nothing against that. But there are tips to make it better. Keep in mind the end goal, what you can do with the information after you're done with this, and make it a party. That's how you make all things that are traditionally thought of as boring. You gotta make it a party. Play your music. Have some snacks, play your music, light an incense, light a candle, have your favorite coffee, tea, whatever, invite people. Come on in, let's budget. Make it a party. And then number 4, my budget is all in my head. It's not. With all the things you're bombarded with on a daily basis, their budget is not in your head. Even if it could be, why would you want it to be? Don't you have enough to keep in that head of yours? Don't you have enough to think about? Budgeting needs to be tracked and evaluated weekly, monthly, quarterly, throughout the whole year. You are not keeping it in your head. Okay? So let's put that on the spreadsheet so that we can evaluate and use it as a tool to better our beauty businesses. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, now's the time to drop them. If you're watching this on replay, you can definitely drop the question or the comment, and I will reply to you. Or if you're shy, you want to slide in my DM, I'm all for that too. I hope this information was helpful. I hope I cleared up these top 4 of the misconceptions that I hear from you all. And it's time to we're going to overcome this. And our bookkeeping, our budget is going to become our friend, because it's going to help us grow these beauty empires that we dream of, okay? So I hope you found this helpful. I'm going to see you guys again tomorrow, likely same time this Friday. I may do it earlier because I know y'all ain't going to be checking for me tomorrow night. Y'all might be trying to do something. I don't know. We'll see. But I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you have an awesome night, and thank you for joining me. Don't forget to RSVP, guys. Instagram, first link in my bio. Facebook, I'll put the link down there. RSVP for the Black Friday Masterclass, Tuesday, November 24th, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're talking about the 5 financial habits of beauty bosses. It is going to be some awesome information that you guys are going to be able to use immediately for yourself and in your business. Also, you get prizes, a virtual swag bag, and an exclusive Black Friday discount. So you don't want to miss that either. All right. RSVP, do not forget. All right. See you guys tomorrow.